out right now. I had to go get a money order. Quite annoyed. Oh boy, I feel so annoyed. Oh. And I just realized that I didn't eat anything today. I just realized that. I look at the times like, I realized I did not eat breakfast or lunch today. But I do feel better. I feel a lot better than I did yesterday. Yesterday I had, the sniffles is gone away. Just like a minor cough here and there. Mucus is starting to go away, so I'm starting to feel a lot better already. Maybe the fasting helped. I don't know, but but today I did not intentionally do that. I just completely forgot to eat. I haven't eaten nothing, no breakfast or dinner. No breakfast or lunch. I had dinner, but I didn't have breakfast or lunch today, and now it's 3:21. So what I'll do is I'll probably go get something small to eat, and I do want to cook. I want to make some yams tonight, and maybe I'll make grilled lamb. I'm thinking. I feel so quite annoyed right now. I feel I was a little pissed before I got on here, personal matters, I got off of my phone and saw an email and wasn't too happy. So I got furiated. I was like stomping into the Walmart. I was like not too happy. But nothing like like on here is personal matter, personal situation. But we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, let's go for the ride, because I have a few things I like to do. I have to go to my bank. I'm going to get something to eat real quick. I think if I eat a little something, I'll feel a little bit better. Oh boy. And just get in here. But yeah, what was it earlier today before I drove out? I was thinking about, and this came on my mind earlier, because I watch a lot of videos and people around the world, you listen to different blogs, different perspectives. And, I hear a lot about people saying things like, it's hard to find a good woman nowadays, right? Or it's hard to find a good man out there nowadays. And when they say that, you know what they're talking about. Somebody that they can be with that's loyal, that wants to build with you, that wants to have a real relationship with you. And it got me thinking, because I always think deep on things a lot, and I think a lot about the things that the Bible tells us about our nature, about the things of this world. And it got me thinking, like, oh, this is something I could really share on my ride. Now, a lot of people say, oh, it's hard to find a good woman. It's hard to find a good man. It's true. It is very hard to find a good woman and a good guy nowadays. When I say that, I mean somebody who really wants to build a real relationship with you, who really wants to marry. And is this a no turn on red sign up here? I don't know if I can or not. Let me see. Just before I continue, I just want to see if anyone's coming down this way. No one's coming, so let me go down this way. Rush hour probably starting up soon, but I think I'll be good by the time I get down to that bank. So, it's very hard to find people nowadays who want to just be loyal. They, stay with you, not cheat. That actually want to get married and have a family, build something with you, a foundation, something real. And like a lot of times nowadays, you hear people just get together and then they leave. They get together, then they leave. They sleep around. They cheat. They have breakup, makeups, open relationships. Sexual freedom, whatever they want to do. That's their personal life, their personal decisions, whatever they want to do, right? And a lot of times, if they do get in a relationship, they only stay with that person for a little while until they get bored of them. Until hard times come, all of a sudden they want to be like, oh, well, I don't feel the same way I felt about them the first time. At first, they were good in bed. You know, they were sexy to me. Now I'm starting to lose interest, right? And they're like, oh, you know, I'm ready to move on to the next guy or the next woman. They were convenient for me then, but now I found something better. And that's what we see with relationships nowadays. A lot of people who are just thinking about themselves and for themselves, a lot of selfishness. And it got me thinking a lot about promiscuous people promiscuous people, and people that, you know, are so pro sexual freedom, because that's the society we're living in. People are so pro sexual liberation, pro being promiscuous, being out there. And, you know, my whole thing is not to bring this up to personally judge anyone. This is just to bring to light something that the Bible talks about with our nature, about this life, and about the reality of this world and things that we don't look at a lot. So, you know, what you choose to do with your life is on you. You know what I mean? You want to sleep with 50, 70 dudes or 50, 70 women, that's on you. Is it right? No, but that's what you choose to do. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, because a lot of times I hear people complain about not being able to find a good woman and good man. And you see this a lot on videos. You see a lot of these videos surfacing the internet. And, you know, and they're like, oh, it's hard to find a good man. Oh, it's hard to find a good woman, you know, that wants to build with you, that wants to get married. Anytime you want to find a good woman, they're hard. And the women that are out there, they've been with so many men already. They've been with like 30 men already. I don't want to be with a woman that has that many men, right? Or it's vice versa. You know, you're looking for a man that's going to settle down with you and want to and be with you, but you don't like his body count and you don't like how many people he's been with, and you know, you're complaining. So, the biggest thing that I thought about here was that everybody gets mad when you tell them the truth about what the Bible says about sex, right? And about our nature and how we're supposed to wait until marriage and wait to find the person you're supposed to settle down with, right? Everybody wants to be so against that. And everybody wants to be like, I could do whatever I want with my body. Of course, no one's saying that you can't do whatever you want with your body. You can, but there are consequences behind sin. And then they'll get mad when you tell them that it's sinful to sleep around. You could do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, God tells us that it's wrong for us to do. There's consequences behind sin. And people get mad and they're like, what's wrong with it? What's the problem? I'm pro-sexual freedom. I should be able to sleep with whoever I want to. Of course, you could do whatever you want. But then those same people turn around and they get mad when they can't find a good man or a good woman. It's like, wait, hold up here. You done your dirt, slept around, slept with 15, 20 dudes in your lifetime. Whatever, I don't know how many men. And now that you want to get serious and settle down, now you're mad because people are not being good to you. You can't find a good man, a good woman, in your opinion, in your eyes. You can't find somebody that's to be loyal to you, to want to be with you and spend the rest of your life with after you done slept around and done all these things. And you're mad because there's no good men or women left out there. Like, whose fault is that? You are the same person that was mad when someone told you that, you know, hey, we shouldn't be sleeping around because, you know, that's not right. It breaks people's hearts. It breaks relationships. It does a lot to you. It's not right. The Bible says it's wrong. And you're the first person that was mad when people told you that, hey, this is not the right thing to do. But now that you want to settle down, now you're pissed that people are doing exactly the thing that you were doing. See the hypocrisy there? It's like, wait, how are you going to be mad that you can't find good men and women when you're the person that's contributing to that? Okay? You were in society along with everybody else, sleeping around with 10, 15, 20 people, and then got the nerve to complain later on why there's no good women or men left. You get what I'm trying to say? I thought about that today, and I'm like, the same people that complain about that are the same ones that's out there screwing around. And then when you can't find some word, where do you think all these good women and men went to that, in your opinion? You know? You were so pro sexual freedom, be with whoever I want, screw whoever I want. But now that you can't find a person that's anti that, like a person that's completely opposite of that, you're pissed off now. Like, wow, what selfishness. You don't realize you contribute to that problem with society. I thought you were pro, let's sleep around and do whatever I want to do. And now the fact that now you want to find someone who's loyal to you and you ready to settle down, now you want to be selfish and you expect somebody good to come along. Like, it doesn't work that way. If everybody's that way, I mean, what do you expect? Most people you're going to see have been around with so many people. It's going to be hard to find a woman or a man or someone that's going to want to just be loyal to you. If you sleeping around the whole damn town like that, and then when you sat there, slept with 15 women, then the person next to you slept with 15 different women or men. If everybody keeps doing that, of course it's going to be hard to find a person that hasn't really been around like that, that's loyal and don't want to cheat and do the right things. Excuse me real quick. Just 1 minute. I just want to look on the menu real quick. Hello? Okay, I'm going to get the stuffed bagel minis, plain. And I'll take a bottle of water.
All right, that's the order.
And I'm going to take a small hot tea, just plain hot tea. If you could throw some honey in there, that'd be fine.
Okay, give me a moment.
Okay.
And hot tea?
Yes.
What's hot?
Oh, small. Make sure it's small.
Small, okay. A little bit of honey?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh, it's just a lot.
Thanks. But yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to get something, a little bite to eat because, I got to fill this tummy and I would like coffee, but I'm going to drink some tea right now because just to get whatever else is in there out. So, yeah, so back to what I was saying. So, yeah, so if you're contributing to that kind of way of thinking, where you're going along with society, the ways of the world, which is godless, and you choose to want to go your own way and you want to sleep around and the person next to you sleeping around and they're promoting this kind of lifestyle, what do you think is going to happen if every single person is sleeping around and doing these things? It's going to be harder to find somebody that has less of a body count that they've been with. It's going to be hard to find a person that you feel is going to just want to be with you and be loyal to you, because the more people they've been with, the more they feel like, oh, they've had so many options. They've been around so much. They're used to leaving. They're used to not sticking around. So then just your fear, like, oh, well, if this person's been around with so many people, like, how do I really know when she's serious about settling down? Or how do I know he's really serious about settling down? Now you got fears, you got doubts. When you're sleeping with them, are you thinking about the other guys they were with that had bigger penises than I mean, those are the things you're going to start worrying about. She might have been with a man that had a bigger ding dong than I did. She's probably thinking about him while I'm screwing her in bed, you know. or a woman vice versa. She's like, I wonder if there's a woman that has better performance than me, you know. And they're so used to getting whatever they wanted and sleeping around, having all this sexual freedom, that you worry that they're just in and out if they wanted to be, you know, to leave you so quickly, you know, because it's just something they're used to. They've been around so much that they're going to have a harder time just being attached to just you, because they did this act with about maybe 15, 20, 30 other people. And trust me, I know people that have a 50-man count, if you know what I mean. Yep, hot tea. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thanks. No, I'm good. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. You have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye. You too. But yeah, so I knew somebody that had a 50 body count, you know, someone I knew personally in my real life. Now, no judgment to her, you know, I don't, and whatever you want to do with your body, with your, you know, your privates, that's on you. But one thing I had a problem with her was that she would complain to me, right? She'll tell me, I don't want to get married. I don't want to do these things. Okay, that's nice. You don't have to get married. I don't, you know, and if she asks me the truth, I'll tell her the truth. Like she says, is it okay for me to sleep around? You know, because she used to ask me, and I said, no, it's not okay. It's actually a sin, but which you have free will, so you get to choose right or wrong. No, it's not. It's not a sin. Well, according to the Word of God, it is. You know, it's not okay to do. And you know, if you told me right now you're going to sleep around, I would actually try to encourage you not to, but you choose to do what you want to do. Because if I'm your friend, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, and I remember one time she told me a guy wanted to sleep with her, and I stopped her. I told her, no, don't do it. Like, do not give your body that easily to him like that. I said, you shouldn't have to give your body to a guy just because he took you on a date. Like, no. I said, do not do that. Because I'm her friend, and if I love my friend, I'm going to tell her the truth and try to encourage her to love herself, right? But if she chooses to do that, will I sit there and treat her mean? No, I'm going to love her regardless. You know what I mean? That's my friend, you know? But I'm not going to sit here and condone your behavior and think it's okay. I'm going to try to talk you out and say, hey, don't do that to yourself. You know, don't sell yourself short like that. You know, if he wants to take you on the date, that's nice, but don't just go giving him everything. Don't do that to yourself. She didn't like that. Then she'll complain to me and she'll say something like, you know, I'm sad. I'm upset. Why are you upset? Because after I slept with him, he ignored me. He don't want to talk to me no more. He just like I don't even matter to him. I said, but I thought you said you didn't want nothing. You just wanted to have sex. That's it. I mean, didn't you tell me that? And I warned you, don't give yourself like that to people like that. And you told me, oh, it's nothing. It's just, you know, I just want to have sex. Well, so why are you complaining now? Because see, when you have sex with people, it's not just sex. It's not a physical act. Sex is a sacred act from God. That's a very sacred spiritual act. And see, the devil has perversed the natural creation of sex that God has given us. God never created sex for us to give it to everybody and everything. He gave it to us to make a covenant with that person under him, to represent the union between God and his church, and to have that bond with that one person under God. And God created sex to feel good too, because he wants you to feel good when you're doing that with your spouse, a person that you truly are to be sacrificial with, you know, to be bonded with. You know, that's why God put those nerve endings in your privates so they could feel good and to actually procreate in the midst of it all, you know? But back to what I was saying, you know, it was never meant to be abused. The devil took sex and made it into a perverse act. You know, he took the real thing and made it artificial. That's why when you watch things like pornography and all that stuff, it's not real. It's not real. And then people watch this stuff and then they forget the real thing. and then they expect their partners to perform what they're seeing on television, and it's not even real. Then they got problems getting ups. If you look this up, there are people who really, pornography messed them up so bad that they can't even have sex with the woman in the bed because it's not the thing they see on TV. And they're women trying to figure out what's wrong with my man. Why can't he, why is it that now he can't perform on me? What's going on? It's because he's getting his relief off of something artificial that Satan has created. He took away from the real thing. The stuff they put on these pornographies, stuff like on television is beyond, it's disgusting, and it's not even real. It's artificial. It's not even sex anymore. It's nasty stuff that you wouldn't even like, ugh. You don't even want to like think about, It's gross, it's grotesque, it's demonic. And see, that's what the devil did. He's perversed the beauty of sex that God created it to be and made it into something evil and perverted it with sin. It was never meant to be abused in that way. So my friend, I tried to explain that to her that one time because she was complaining to me, and I said, well, if it's bothering you, I must just stop sleeping with these guys and stop sleeping around them. I thought you said that you just wanted it to be sex, but it's not just sex. You know that there's something more to this act than just it being a physical thing. It's messing with your emotions. It's messing with your heart. It's messing with your mind, your self-esteem, everything. And you see it. You feel broken every time you sleep with a guy. And she said, and one time she got mad at me, but then she said to me, Candace, you know what? You're right. She was like, she was stubborn. She was like, every time I sleep with a guy, I feel broken. One guy slept with her, and I guess he was engaged. Should have not been with him, but she went with him, saying it was just sex. She slept with him, and that very moment he came, he pulled up his pants, put his penis back in, and said, "Get out." Told her, "Get out of my door." And that really bothered me hearing that. Wow, she went in there and did that, and it gets treated like dirt. Told, "Get out of my door. I'll get you a taxi or something, pick you up." She was so hurt. And it's like, why do you keep putting yourself in those situations? And she would get mad every time I tell her, like, stop doing this. But you want to complain to me every time you get hurt. The Bible warns us these things for a reason. He warns us of these things for a reason. God tells you about sin because sin has consequences, and sin causes what? Hurt, pain, trauma, chaos, problems. That's what happens. Bad consequences. She's fortunate she didn't end up with any STDs. Then she was mad because some guy, didn't want to give her the things that a married man gives a married woman. Okay, here we go again. You said you didn't want to get married. You want to sleep around. You want to have fun with multiple men. You want to get in with every kind of guy. Because that's what you want to do, right? Yep. So why are you mad at him? Because he chooses to not want to pay your stuff. I've been dating this guy for a while now. I said, you know what I asked her? I said, I got a question for you. I said, do you want to marry him? Do you ever want to get married to him? No, I don't want to get married. So you don't want to get married to him? No, I don't want to get married. But yet you want the benefits of marriage, right? Yeah. I said, that's your problem. I said, you can't expect him to treat you like a wife without giving him the actual title, without actually doing it. That's selfish. And I'm not a person that's argumentative. But that day, I had to break it down because I got sick and tired of hearing the complaints. It's hypocritical. And she was mad at first with me, but then she admitted, you know what, you're right. You made me realize my own selfishness. She couldn't even deny it. But that's where we are. We're in a life where we live lies. I wonder, oh, they're still open, the bank. Good. We live a life of lies. people want to lie to themselves and say it's okay to live a certain way, live a lifestyle. But when bad things happen or when things don't go your way and it's not benefiting you anymore, all of a sudden you're mad about the same things you were supporting, the outcomes of it. It's a form of selfishness. So yeah, she was mad, but then she admitted, like, I'm selfish. I'm a selfish person because I want all these things, but yet you want all these things, but yet want the things that you're complaining about because you have your needs at the moment, but now you're not happy with the outcomes. You can't have it both ways. And then complain, where's all the good men at? And this is another thing too that I talked about with a friend of mine that passed away. Oh, God bless, rest his soul. He was a good friend. I won't mention the person's name on here, but let me just give me a second. I just got to take some money out real quick because I have to put some money away in the bank. Just give me 1 second. But this is a good point this person brought up, because I don't like to just look at men and say, oh, it's all men. It's women too. It works both ways, you know. Let me go here. And I'm not going to go too much into why I think people become that way. There's different scenarios. I think a lot of people become promiscuous in general because of pain and trauma, but I don't think that's the only reason. You know what I mean? But I think that's one of the reasons. But I'll tell you what he said. A minute. Hold on here. Let's see something here. Oh, I'll take this out. I'm running so many errands right now. I'm like been busy running around trying to get everything done, and then in the midst of that email I got so angry with that, you know. Oh, new card. Okay, I removed it. Oh, trying to think, how much should I take out? Other amount. Okay. Yes, I want a receipt. See how much is in there. I just want to see how much. The heck? That can't be. That doesn't make any sense. Very strange. No, that cannot be. Hold on there. Let's see, unless a bill came out. That's the only thing I can think of. Let's see. All right, moved. Now I'm going to have to go and check and make sure there's nothing going on. Okay. Cash withdrawal. Just want to test something here. If not, I'll make sure I check. I always worry about like someone hacking into my account or something going wrong, and I'm like, oh boy, you know. Okay, something's coming out. Okay, come on. All right, there we go. All right, I just want to see what's really in there. Okay, the cash came out. All right, just see. Okay, I'm gonna make sure maybe a bill came out or something. That's strange. So I saw a little bit more the other day. I don't know. Les hubby did something when he went to Raw last night. Maybe he bought himself something. He went to WWF Raw last night. So I don't know. Maybe he bought something down there for him and his friend. Well, I'll find out when I get a chance. Because, you know, sometimes he goes out spending and he doesn't tell me where he's spending his money at. Oh, boy. But, let's see, I'm going to go in to, so maybe I'll go to my other bank last because I want to go get some stuff. cars. Come on. Yeah, I got that. All right, they're going. All right. So back to what I was saying was the friend of mine's. He was mentioning how a lot of women complain about not being able to find a good guy, right? Or a guy that they want. And he told me this, and this is true. He says, but whenever they do get a good guy, it's not the guy that they want. It's a guy that they find lame. It's a guy they look at and are picky about. He's not my type. You know, they find him to be boring. You know, he's not like the top notch type of guy. But he's a good guy. He's a guy that's willing to be with them, but they just don't find him attractive and they don't want to give him a chance. And then it's like, well, there's your good guy right there, you know? And the ones that they want to be with is the bad guys or the guys that are out there cheating and doing everything. And it's like, well, why can't I find any good guys? And one day I put a video up. This is going back months ago. I think it was last summer. I put a video up. It was a black guy dressed up. He had money and he took the woman on a date. And he was nice. He's like, hey, beautiful. And she says, mm-hmm. She was not so nice to him. And, you know, he says, I'm going to go ahead and he said something to her. I don't know if he said he was going to take her out, open the door for her. She says, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Then ding dong, the second guy, you know, rings on her doorbell. He's the bad guy, the badass, you know? And she's like all into him. He over there taking the money that the guy gave her the first date and talking about, well, I ain't doing none of that. I ain't going out nowhere, you know, like he's all about himself and he's ready to just get freaky in the bedroom. And she's all bending her back for him, but then yet wants to complain because she can't find a good guy. It's like, well, when you do find a good guy, you want to be picky. And he brought a good point because that's true. I hear that a lot from a lot of people. They, you know, that they date guys and they're looking for a good guy, but the good guys are not my type. Well, you can't, you're like, what do you want? You know, like, you know, and the one, I hate to say it, but the ones that's out there looking all fly and fresh with the perfumes, I mean, majority of them out there cheating, you know, they're trying to look good for everybody and everything for a reason. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having good self-esteem and looking nice, but some people are just too much into vanity, and you can kind of tell they're about themselves, and they're, you know, the type of person that probably wouldn't have a problem with cheating on you and doing anything behind your back. So, you know, he brought that up, you know, and I was true. I said, that is so true, because I heard that so many times. But again, like, you know, you can't complain if you support that kind of lifestyle and you're okay with living that kind of way and then get mad at the outcomes. Like, you know, you can't get mad. You know, you want the benefits of marriage, but don't want to get married. And then complain, I can't find no one. And the person I knew, the girl I knew that I was friends with, that, you know, I spoke to about that. There was a person that did want to marry her one day. Before all this stuff happened, there was a guy that really did want to marry her. But she didn't want to marry him. She was with the guy for 5 years. He had his life set. He was going to buy her a house and everything. I was like, oh, wow, really? I said, why'd you pass up on that? And, you know, because she told me that. She says, you know, he was going to buy her a house in Florida. He was going to take care of her. He was in the military. And he really was crazy about her. He really was. And there was actually 2 guys, actually, that she passed up on. And you know what she said? She says, I don't want to get married. And he wasn't my type. I said, really? Says, yeah, I just wanted to date. I didn't really want to get married. I didn't want to get settled down. And, you know, I just didn't want to do those things, you know, and I didn't really care for him too much. He wasn't my type. He was short and, you know, I mean, he took me on dates. He paid for me, you know, I gave him, but I didn't want that, you know. And even years after that, he bought her a laptop. He always cared about her. I said, wow. I said, that's sad. I said, oh my goodness. And then another person in her past, you know, she didn't want to give him marriage. So he moves on to another chick because this woman, now get this, the new chick has kids. She didn't. The new chick he left and gone to had kids from a previous, I think, marriage or something, or relationship. I think she had 4 kids. Ends up marrying her and gives her a nice big house, everything. The girl I'm friends with at the time, she was pissed off, mad. She had me drive up to the house to show me the house that the house she would have had, right? She says, I'm so effing pissed right now. I'm pissed off. I'm like, why? I said, what are you mad about? She says, because he went and gone with that girl. I could have had all of that. I said, why? Well, here's the thing. Did you give him marriage? Were you gonna settle down with him? Well, I didn't want to get married. I said, well, that's the problem. I said, you can't expect this guy to give you what you want, but you don't want to give him anything in return. You don't want to give him a marriage or a family or anything. How are you going to be mad? He left her. She wasn't all that cute. She was fat too. I understand how he wanted to be with her. I said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, honey. Ain't no man worrying about if you fat or not. I said, let me tell you something. You could be like Kim Kardashian, okay? Looking beautiful like those women. At the end of the day, man, when he's truly set on trying to find a real woman, or looking for a woman that's loyal, that's true, that's serious, she can be fat with 4 kids. Guess what? If he sees that she's genuine and her heart means well, and she's going to give him a family, and she really wants to build a foundation with him, he's going to marry her. If that's what their heart's set on. He ain't caring about all of that. If a man is caring about your looks and your beauty, what's going to happen when you get old and wrinkles get on your face and you get grays on your hair? You're starting to gain weight. You have babies and you have stretch marks and stuff. You want a man to love you for something that's vanity, or you want him to love you for you? I said, eyes and the beauty of the beholder. Because guess what? A beautiful face becomes a boring face. And that's what I told her. I said, a beautiful face becomes a boring face. And she didn't like what I had to say, because I'm sorry. I ain't going, I'm going to tell you the truth. And honestly, I'm happy for them. You know what? They were willing to get married, do the right thing, And now you're mad because the opportunity passed up on you because you just chose to want to be selfish. That's why you lost 2 chances of getting married, having something good. But she didn't want to get married, but wanted the benefits. She wanted to be selfish. And then one day she admitted that she was being selfish. So, it's true. So he married her, and that's true. Like, what if one day a guy marries you for your looks, and you get into a car accident, your face gets disfigured, or something happens to your body? You get cervical cancer or vaginal cancer, and you can't have sex no more. And he says, well, I got to get it up. Well, she can't give me what I wanted in bed. Then that was not somebody who cared about you. That was a man or a woman that cared about their lust or whatever they wanted from you. So, that's the harsh reality of things. At the end of the day, if they don't love you, your beauty means nothing. It's just lust. You're just a piece of meat. And I told her the truth. I said, she got so mad at me that one time, but it's the truth. But yet you want to be mad when people tell you this is wrong, you shouldn't do it, there's consequences behind sins, but you do what you want to do, and then complain about the outcomes. Really, come on now. You cannot complain when you're contributing to the same thing that's causing you grief and problems. It's like the world wants to feed you lies. The world wants to believe the lie. That's what the Bible shows about our nature. The Bible don't tell you these things for no reason. There's a reason why God says 1 man and 1 woman. He never said, 1 man and 3 women, or 3 women, or 1 woman and 10 men, or whatever like that. Because it always causes problems. There's always something wrong that happens out of it. It never ends off well. That's the truth. Anybody you see that's out there cheating or doing any of those things, or sleeping around multiple men or multiple women, it never ends off well. It never ends off well. More than half the times they don't end up together. They end up fighting. They end up with jealousy problems. They end up with connection problems when it comes to a relationship. For once, when they want to be in a real relationship, they have problems with connecting. And that's what happened to her. She had trouble connecting with people after that, because you when you get so used to doing that, giving your body to everybody, everything, it's hard for you really to connect with somebody. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's hard because you're so used to being in and out, in and out. Goodbye. But then yet want to complain when you can't find somebody that you want because right now you got needs, and it's selfish. It's something I thought about, and I said it'd be something good to share. It's a reality. It's awareness of our reality and what the Bible says, about us. And people always want to sit there and be like, I don't hear about that, it ain't a sin, da da da. But you know what? Look what the Bible says about it. It tells you not to do these things for a reason. And look at the outcomes. Okay, and tell me that this is just BS. So obviously you see the consequences behind it is because the Bible shows it's a sin. That's why. Anything opposite of God is a sin, and anything opposite of his ways is a sin, and it has bad consequences. And we all fall short. We all do. And we learn from our consequences behind our actions in this life. But it's something to think about, like everything that people want to criticize is in the Bible. When they go ahead and do the things that's opposite of what the Bible tells you not to do, it tells you not to do this, and you do opposite, and you decide, I'm going to go be rebellious. Then you want to complain when the outcomes don't work for you. Now you want to be mad when the outcomes don't work along with you. It's something I thought about today. And I was like, I got to share that thought. But I'm going to get inside. I'm going to go get a few things. And I was so irritated with that email. It was a personal matter. Nothing like that I can really put out on here because it is personal. But let's just say I faxed in some forms back 2 weeks ago, and they try to say they didn't receive my faxes, which I'm like upset because now it delays everything I have to be doing in the upcoming weeks. So, I was really pissed off, Oh gosh. I'm like, come on, do I have to delay another 2 weeks because people don't process things correctly? So I got so angry for a little bit. I'll be all right. But I'm going to get going. Take care, everybody. God bless. Heck, I still haven't eaten nothing. Look at me. I'm over here yapping off. I didn't even eat. I'm getting ready to get out of the car and I didn't even eat this yet. Oh, gosh. It's pretty decent size, right? Bagel bites. Good. My tea. I'll probably drink my tea inside there while I'm trying to get some things done. But I should drink this water down. So I gotta drink a lot of water. It's good. Well, it'll get me over until dinner time because I'm gonna make yams. I want to make grilled lamb, but that's if I see some good looking lamb up there. I want to make sure it looks fresh. Or beef ribs. Beef ribs is good too. I don't eat beef a lot, but every once in a while I'll settle for it. And and put it on a grill or something. And hubby, I'm gonna probably have to, I don't know. He wants to eat the rest of his pizza. I'm just like, I don't want you to have pizza. I want you to eat home cooked food. I guess he's trying to finish up whatever he had last night. So we'll see. I'm gonna get off of here. Take care, everybody. God bless. Bye-bye.